Massa is definitely in the latter category, as former driver Sam Posey tells us.
After 14 seasons in Formula One, Felipe Massa is retiring. He can look back on his career with great pride. 11 wins during 8 seasons with Ferrari, the most storied team in Formula One. He goes out on a high note, 3 strong seasons in the unexpectedly competitive Williams. In this era of high stakes and bitter rivalries, his popularity in the paddock has been exceptional. And who can forget this display of affection accorded him at Monza, even when he no longer drove for the prancing horse. But racing has its dark side too, and in qualifying at Hungary in 2009, a spring came off the car ahead of Massa and struck his visor. A fracture near his left eye ended his season. He returned the next year, but some say the injury has had lasting effects. His teammates at Ferrari were all world champions: Michael Schumacher, Kimi Raikkonen, and Fernando Alonso. Massa was enough of a realist to see the value of driving for Ferrari, even if he was number 2, and also enough of an optimist never to give up on being number 1. He had to fight self-doubts at times, but for one tantalizing moment in 2008, the World Championship itself was within his grasp. One race to go, the Grand Prix of Brazil. His rival for the championship wasn't his teammate Kimi Raikkonen, who he had outperformed all year, but McLaren driver Lewis Hamilton. The last laps were fought out in heavy rain, and his family and friends cheered him home, the winner. But then Hamilton appeared out of the gloom, the beneficiary of a series of unlikely events, having given him enough points to become champion. In a sense, that single race summed up Felipe's whole career. Able to win on a good day, but not lucky enough to become champion. But win or lose, you can be sure there'll be some party tonight.
Long afternoon and lots to play for there, and so much to remember for Felipe Massa, his son Filipino, and all of his family and legion of fans at Interlagos today. Unfortunately, sadly, and perhaps inappropriately, it ended this way for Felipe Massa. And boy, it was hard for us to hold back the tears. He couldn't, and justifiably so. The 35-year-old veteran caught up with Will.
Felipe, not the way that you would have wanted it to end here, but what an incredibly emotional day, and you wore your heart on your sleeve once again. Talk us through your emotions standing here at the end of your last ever Brazilian Grand Prix.
Well, I think it's impossible to explain the feeling that I had today. I wanted to finish the race in a better position for them, for the fans. Unfortunately, I couldn't, but I think maybe God knows what to do. It just stopped me in the place. That it was such a emotion moment for me in front of these people, also in front of all the paddock, people that it was working in the middle of the race, going out, to clap their hands for me, even teams that I didn't even work, teams that I work. It's such an amazing feeling, and I just, say thank you very much, because I am really proud for what I passed, but I never expected a day like today. I will never forget this day, and I just go out and I finish with my head up. Unfortunately, not for the result from today, but I think from the love and the human side that I feel in this world.
Are you aware after today how much you are loved in this paddock and how much you will be missed?
For sure, I didn't imagine that. It's not an easy paddock, but it's just an amazing feeling. So I just say thank you very much for all of you guys that support me even for 1 second. I was really emotional, and thank you, all of you guys, you too. And it was really great feeling today, and we'll never forget. Thanks.
And you only get a tribute like his wife, Anna Raffaella, and son, Filipino. You only get a tribute like this from other teams. He's never worked for Mercedes. They didn't need to do that. They did it out of respect. And other teams. And to share this moment with his wife and son, just beautiful.
To see that Mercedes team turn out like that was quite extraordinary, really, because obviously the next pit down was the Ferrari pit,
Yeah.
and they all turned out, but then a lot of the Ferrari mechanics and engineers were there when he was there, so obviously, because old Rob Smedley there, who's been his engineer for so long now,
And friend for so long, brother for so long.
yeah, and really just showed what an incredible respect and love that the teams did hold for Felipe Massa, because he's been a mainstay of Formula One now for such a long time.
Well, he said, Steve, it's not the easiest paddock. It's not the easy environment. Highly politicized, and it's kind of a cutthroat environment.
Boy.
It's been his home for 15 years. He had that one season of not racing when he was a Ferrari test driver, but 14 competitive years, 15 years in this piranha pit of a paddock, really.
It really is a very, difficult and sometimes hostile environment in which to live and work. But again, the mark of a truly great gentleman, a true man in this case with Felipe is a humble hero. I mean, he genuinely, when he says things like, "Well, I never knew that people thought that way about me," you can tell it's a genuine, sincere comment from him, and that for me really is the mark of him. He's a wonderful character, and unfortunate end to the Grand Prix for him that he couldn't win it, be on the podium, score some points. But as he said, in a way, perhaps I stopped in the most appropriate place I could, got out of the car, and to the support from the crowd and the teams.
Yeah.
Terribly emotional for him for his last race. It was his worst qualifying here since he first came in 2002. And to finish in a crash like that would be just appalling for him. And of course, his other worst moment of his life would have been in 2008 when he thought he'd won the championship on the last lap. And on the last corner, Hamilton overtook Timo Glock, took the championship from him. I mean, he won the race, Massa won the race, but it must have been gut-wrenching. So two really
But lots of positives. To have a 15-year career in Formula One, to be an 11-time Grand Prix winner, to win twice at home. He had 3 consecutive poles here at Interlagos. There's lots to celebrate, and I think while you sit back and you have a beer or a cup of tea or something, and you think about those highlights, I think that what we witnessed today is what will really. His son is old enough to remember that now. That's what he and Anna Raffaella will talk about and remember, and they'll get to see all those still pictures and watch it back. So, very, very, very emotional, very appropriate. And I think, that long walk back. Remember when Mark Webber retired?
Yeah.
He took his helmet off, which is against the rules, and he went around because he said he just wanted to experience it. And look at this. Look at this. He didn't get it to stand out there for real today, but for those left at the circuit, wanted to give them that final thank you. And that's the mark of the man. That's the kind of guy that Felipe Massa is. Uncertain what he'll do next year. There were rumours whether he'd follow his old friend Rubens Barrichello and do a season of IndyCar. He told us at Barcelona that he's not really interested in ovals. He may do some sports cars, who knows, but we wish him all the best. One guy who had a pretty encouraging day today as well, and hopefully would like to have a career as long as Felipe